Hey guys, we are back with Japanese Breakfast, here to chat with us about that performance and all of the things you've got going on right now. How's it going, Michelle?
It's going great. I had so much fun. I love ACL. I love Austin, and it's great to be back.
It's amazing to have you here. The last time we chatted with you, we were here for South by Southwest in Austin. I want to know a little bit about your performance on stage today and just like the energy that the crowd gave you.
Yeah, I feel like we always have such a great time in Austin, and like a lot of our beginnings are here. You know, the first South by Southwest was really where I got signed and I found an agent, and yeah, I've always had a very charmed experience in Austin, and the reception from the audience has always been really perfect.
Yeah. Have you had any weird things happen to you here? Because I know the whole saying is keep Austin weird.
Oh yeah. Has anything weird happened to me?
And I know you embrace the weird, so.
Nothing's coming to me right now. It's mostly just been like a really good time. It's cool that, you know, our ACL performance, our live taping just came out, and yeah, I was here last year too, and it's not weird, but I got to sing with Wilco, which was definitely, I got to perform Jesus, etc., which is like one of my favorite songs of theirs, and they like even changed the key so I could sing it, and yeah, I got to like meet a lot of like really like my heroes here in Austin.
Yeah.
So it's not weird, but it's very cool.
No, for sure, for sure. I know that you've had a lot of big moments. You just sold out Hollywood Bowl, Forest Hill Stadium. As you rack in all of these performances and these successes, what are you learning about yourself as an artist and about your fan base?
What have I learned? I mean, I guess I just feel like stronger and more powerful, and it's a really exciting thing as like stages get bigger and crowds get bigger, that it's really just about maintaining connection with people, and like it just makes you feel very powerful and good, and I guess I'm just surprised that I can handle it, and I'm glad that I have really wonderful people around me that are along for the ride.
Yeah, I love that so much. So obviously you dropped Jubilee last year, and it truly is a celebration. Can you kind of talk about ways in which you're celebrating yourself and your wins lately? Do you take moments to do that?
Yeah, I mean, this week has been really special and wild. I got to meet a lot of my heroes. I got to meet Karen O, and I got to play with Yola Tango and Florence and the Machine. So it's been a real whirlwind week, especially. And so, yeah, I've been having a great time.
Yeah, with Jubilee getting 2 Grammy nominations and just seeing so much success, are you ever tempted to go in the same direction sonically or thematically, because it's kind of like if it's not broke, don't fix it? Or
definitely not.
Yeah,
I feel like that's like the death of art. I definitely want to always surprise myself and surprise our audience, and I think it will be very, very different from this record. I think also like you just get tired of like, you know, a certain thing and you want to do something very different. So a lot of this record, you know, called for a larger band, and, you know, a lot of it is just like me getting to really own being a front person. And I think my next record will probably see more of a return to the guitar.
Very nice. Very, very nice. As far as just the audience responses to some of the tracks that you're playing live, which ones are doing really well, and which ones are you really building on because they're doing well?
It's really always very fun to start with Paprika, and I feel like that song is very much a celebration of music and the connection, and also you know, like how difficult it can be to be an artist sometimes, and like the benefits and disadvantages of that kind of lifestyle. And so it's always really special to get to share that with the crowd. I feel like especially with festivals, I've always been really trying to go for something really boisterous and really in your face, and I feel more comfortable playing some of the slower material now, and just like owning that. So we played Tactics today, which is a piano ballad that we don't usually play at festivals, and I thought it went over really well because, you know, Austin's a music town and they can handle the range.
Yeah, how'd you get to that point where you just kind of felt comfortable doing that?
I think just like years of touring, you know, and like I think in the beginning I just had so much self-doubt, and then I, you know, figured like there's a reason why people keep showing up, and you know, you just get more comfortable with like the bigger challenges.
Yeah, I love that. I love that so much. As far as tracks like Be Sweet, the lead, that people love, can you tell me a little bit about where your mind went when you were creating that?
Yeah, that one was a really interesting song. I have a couple of songs, and it's sort of a rare thing where there's like this sort of like inner sassy diva fantasy that like comes out. And I worked on that song with Jack Tatum from Wild Nothing, and we had no real intention behind it beyond like we were thinking about writing just like a great pop song to give to someone else. And I loved it so much that I kept it, and it felt like very new for me. But yeah, that song has been a real challenge because I don't like really identify as like a singer, you know, and there's so much belting and range in that song that I've really had to try to rise to the occasion to defeat it.
Yeah. What's your writing process typically look like? Are you writing on the go, or is there a particular like space you need to be in at the time, or?
Yeah, I haven't really been able to write on the go. I typically need like a lot of privacy because it's a really mortifying experience, like trying to like figure it out.
In what way though?
Oh, just like trying, you know, like singing stupid stuff that like comes to mind, or like working out melodies and stuff like that. And you know, it requires a lot of concentration and sitting at a computer. So it's a lot of playing really badly, trying to find like what you're looking for.
Yeah, I feel like listening to your music, it puts me in a very nostalgic place. Where does your mind go when you're listening back to a lot of the things that you've created? Where does it go, and does the place that you start, is it the same place that you end when it's done and it's finished and you're listening back to it?
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, live, I try to just be present in the moment. I think when I watch artists, like my favorite moments are when it just feels like they're feeling every song in the moment, and it's different every time and from song to song. I haven't listened to my own music in a really long time, so I don't even know what sort of memory it would conjure up. But yeah, I'm sure it would make me pretty nostalgic.
Yeah. I feel like I talk to a lot of artists who are like, I put my work out and I never like revisit it. What's that about?
I don't know. I feel like there's a feeling of like completion when you're done, and you don't want to revisit it because you kind of don't want to confront like maybe things you might have wanted to do differently, or like your growth as an artist and how you've changed, and certain things are just. Also, like, I play the same songs all the fucking time, so I don't really, like, want to go back and listen to that music again very often. But, yeah, I don't know. It makes you self-conscious a little bit, I think.
That's real.
Yeah.
That's real. How's it been on tour? Any favorite stops? Any memorable moments?
Oh, well, you know, we got to open for the Yeah Yeah Yeahs, and Karen O is like my absolute hero, and I wrote a book called Crying in H Mart where I talk about, you know, how she's a big reason why I learned how to play music, because, you know, in a very white male-dominated field like indie rock, like to see a half Korean woman doing everything that like an Asian mother, you know, tells you not to do growing up was really, really inspiring to me. And so at the Hollywood Bowl, she said, "Michelle's my girl," and she dedicated Maps to me, and I don't think that you can really like top that experience in your life.
Incredible. And Crying in H Mart has done so well. New York Times bestseller. Tell me a little bit about that vulnerability and being willing to talk about just like so many things, losing your mom and just like growing up as a Korean young girl and all that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I think you just don't think much about other people when you make art, or at least I try not to. And so I wanted to just make something that I needed, that helped me. And it's really an honor and a great pleasure that people have been able to relate to it. I'm very happy. But yeah, in the process of writing it, I think I just was writing down what I needed to hear and exploring what had happened during that time.
Yeah. And you're doing a screen adaptation, right?
Yes, I am like 2 days away from submitting my revision, and I'm very, very excited.
Wait, what has working on that been like?
It's been wild. Like, I've learned a lot about just like the craft of screenwriting, and yeah, it was challenging at first because I think it's the first time that I've had to like tell the same story in just like a different medium. But yeah, it was also really fun. I think parts of it are really sweet because it's kind of like I have to write all of the dialogue, and it almost feels like having conversations with my mom again. And, yeah, I'm really proud of what I've created, and I hope it will be very good.
What's been some of the challenges of that?
Oh, I mean, just like learning a new craft from scratch. And like, you know, I never really read screenplays before. And part of that work is really, really fun, of just learning it's a certain type of like language and style that's different from writing prose or songs. And so, yeah, that was challenging. And, but yeah, I'm really happy with how it turned out.
So good. And you've been plugged into different mediums as well, even writing a soundtrack for a video game.
Yeah.
What the heck? Like, incredible. Tell us a little bit about that and that work, how it pushed you in new ways?
Oh, yeah, I've always like been a gamer since I was a kid. I like really loved. I got like a Super Nintendo when I was like 5 years old.
Yeah.
And, used to play like role-playing games with my dad. And yeah, the guys from Shedworks approached me about scoring this really beautiful game called Sable, which is like an indie game that came out on Xbox, and I think it's going to come out on PlayStation later this year. And it was so fun because so much of my music is so personal, and it was the first time I had to write something from a kind of new perspective, from a very like broad and objective like kind of perspective, and that was a really new thing. A lot of it was also ambient music, which I don't write too much about and so yeah, I was writing like string arrangements on my own for the first time and producing the whole thing, so I learned a lot on that project, and I'm really proud of it.
Yeah, what kind of, did you get any direction, or was it kind of like go with the flow, like here's the storyline, do your thing?
Yeah, I mean, it's an open world game with no combat, and it's on a desert planet, so it has to like not be repetitive or annoying, you know, so it just had to be very, a lot of like really ambient tracks. And then we had a playlist of things that we liked. You know, we were big fans of the Zelda Breath of the Wild game and their soundtrack, and Yola Tango was a really big reference, and Studio Ghibli films were a big reference.
Yeah.
So yeah, we had like a playlist going of songs that we really loved, and yeah, I kind of took it in that direction.
Yeah, what other things are you interested in getting into in the future that maybe you haven't done yet, as far as creating music for?
Creating music for? I think, you know, I'm really excited to like supervise the soundtrack for my movie, and I'm excited to write my like main theme for that movie and try to, you know, get my Oscar nom.
Yes, I love that. I love that so
But my
much.
new goal is to be like an EGOT nominee.
No, we're gonna speak.
Seems like more
winner
reasonable,
into your life. We're gonna speak that into.
I
your
definitely
life.
never thought I would be nominated for a Grammy, so now I'm like, oh, anything is possible.
That's incredible. Oh my God. Do you feel like there's a new pressure that comes with that though?
Definitely. Yeah, definitely.
What does that look like on a daily basis when you're working and you're trying to, like, I don't want to say one up yourself, but
Yeah.
like kind of?
I think the best thing to do is to just like try to ignore it, you know, and just like in that sense, like I do try to stick to what I know of, just like if you do your best before, not thinking about who was going to listen to it or read it or see it, and it worked out for you and it came from a really honest place and your best place, that's like what you have to just keep doing, and it hopefully will resonate with people. And if it doesn't, you did it for the love of making art, and you did it and you're happy with it, and that's all that matters.
Yeah, you talked about Austin having a lot of roots and a lot of memories, nostalgia for you. Can you kind of tell us a little bit about like you then and you now, and could you have ever imagined back then when you got signed that you'd be this, I mean, you'd go so far?
Yeah, no, I definitely could not have imagined myself in this position. I've been playing music since I was 16 years old, and I come from a real DIY background of like booking my own shows and playing basements and stuff like that. So I was always really happy in that world. And so this is like a very charmed new experience that I also really enjoy, but I never anticipated being in this situation. And you know, in 2016 when we came to South by Southwest, I didn't even have a live band. I like put together a live band to come to South by Southwest, and so to have like a 6-piece band and like a really wonderful crew like supporting us at this festival and having a huge crowd is like such a pleasure, such an honor.
Yeah, how do you use that same scrappiness these days? I mean, you probably don't have to as often, obviously, but...
Oh, I still am scrapping it up. I think it just gives you a lot of perspective. Like, I really appreciate everyone that I work with, and I don't take it for granted because I did all of the stuff. You know, I have spreadsheets of like getting paid $150 Canadian to like open in like Montreal, and like budgeting and trying to live off of a $10 buyout. So I feel like you just get to appreciate, you know, I no longer have to sleep on floors. Like, I no longer have to like solely, I don't have to sell my own merch. Like I get to like appreciate what everyone does for me, and create a little family, and it feels really nice.
Yeah, are there elements of that life that you miss sometimes?
Yeah, definitely. I miss like the mobility of it. You know, I miss like being like a 3-piece band that can just drive around in a minivan sometimes instead of this like huge production.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I also can't complain.
Yeah, exactly.
I also I don't miss like sleeping like on like cat shit floors and like being paid in cans of soup, you know?
Right, exactly. No, that's real. That is definitely real. Tell us a little bit about your look.
Oh, yeah.
What's your look? I can't end this without getting into it.
Oh, yeah. This dress is Nina Tang.
Very nice.
And this harness is Aria, which I really love. And,
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah, thank you.
What inspires your stage looks?
I guess I just try to be like an extra version of myself.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that so much. For people who maybe stumbled upon your performance today and maybe weren't familiar with you, what's something that you want them to know about you that maybe they don't know about you as an artist?
I don't know. I guess, you know, I feel like what you see is what you get. That I like write my own songs, and you know that it comes from an honest, real place. I feel like a lot of the times you probably don't get much of the lyrics like at a festival setting. So I think that a lot of my music is like as a second listen kind of band, you know, like, and I hope that they take a deep dive into like the substance like beneath the flash.
Exactly. Got to come out to your tour.
Yeah.
See you on tour. Are there any artists you're looking forward to bumping into backstage that maybe you want to connect with?
I am really excited to see Casey Musgraves. I don't know if I need to like meet her because I am shy, but like I did meet Pink Pantheress, and I got a photo with her, and I think she's so cute, and I love her music, and I think she's such a talent, and but yeah, I'm mostly just excited to see Casey Musgraves play. I'm a really big fan, and yeah.
Love that so much. Any other shows you're looking forward to catching out here, or maybe after parties out in Austin?
I'm definitely not going to any after parties. I'm like going to bed. But yeah, I'm gonna see Casey Musgraves this weekend, and then when we come back for next weekend, I'm excited to see Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Love that. And lastly, just rest. What does rest look like for you?
Oh, just like sleeping in and eating well, you know, like delivery 3 times a day in a hotel room.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. Oh
Never leaving.
Well, listen, we're in Austin. What is your go-to meal out here? Because I know that you've had roots here.
Oh, I mean, well, the first thing I ate today was I had a Veracruz breakfast taco.
Very nice.
I'm probably just gonna have festival catering for dinner. I can't remember the name, but there's this really great Korean restaurant that like made us an amazing dinner, and I feel so bad I can't remember their name, but there is a great Korean restaurant here, but I can't remember.
Yeah. I imagine that probably gets tough on the road, like ensuring that you're eating the right things because you're at the mercy of wherever you are. Probably.
Yeah, and you also like have to like eat healthy and like, you know, not, you know, go too hard on like the spice, otherwise like, you know, it'll be bad for you when you play the show.
Yeah, just out of curiosity, prepping pre-show, what does that look like for you? Are you doing cardio? Are you doing breath work? Like, I don't know.
Just this year I started doing vocal warm-ups, which has been nice, and then my band and I will do a huddle. Sometimes we do a tequila shot.
Love that.
And then we all like stomp our feet together and we say, "Don't fuck it up," and then that's all our pre-show ritual. Yeah.
I love that so much. I love that so much. And lastly, I know I said lastly prior, but lastly, as you continue to work on your craft and continue to work on music, what are some things that we can expect from you?
I don't know. I mean, I think every time I try to like put an expectation on what comes next, it's like very inhibiting, and so I have no idea what's next. I'm gonna like spend some time like taking more lessons, you know. I think that's like one thing that's really exciting as you know, get older, of just like challenging yourself and learning more theory and like taking more guitar lessons. Like I want to just like become like a guitar wizard this year and put out something that's more intricate in that way.
Love that. Well, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah.
It's always a pleasure chatting with you.